Okay, Adam, let's get into the messy middle. What are you bringing?
We're going to talk about FKA Twigs.
Oh my God, your one true love.
We need to talk about FKA Twigs.
Okay, I'm ready.
On the Logbooks podcast.
Okay, great.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I booked the studio, just so you know, I booked the studio for 5 hours. If we need, we can extend it if we feel like we need to.
Okay, fine.
If that's okay. So I just want to, you can close your eyes and I just want to paint a picture.
Okay, hold on.
It's October 2023. And I'm in a club in Hackney.
Am I there?
No, sorry. Sorry, you weren't like not invited, but I just went with some other people. And so we're in a club in Hackney and with some friends.
Yeah.
And it's one of those nights because it's very close to Halloween. So it was like a Halloween drag performance art extravaganza with lots of different drag artists, including people that are quite famous in East London for doing like horror type of drag, like Baby Lame, for example.
Yeah.
And Crystal as well used to do that kind of stuff. And but it was like, you know, like the kind of night where they would have like a DJ set for like half an hour, then a drag performance, and then a DJ set, and then like, I don't know, some like gay boys that were trying to be like sexy ghouls or something like that,
Right.
but really they're just like naked gay flesh on the stage, and they call it performance art. So no, it's that kind of club. It's messy. And I was dancing, you know, with some friends or whatever. And then there was this like next performer that came on, which I didn't know what it was going to be. And I didn't know this performer. It's a drag performer called Paracetamol. But I didn't know that at the time because I didn't know them.
So many endless good drag names.
I know. And anyway, so the music started for this performance piece from this drag artist. And my like little spidey sense went up because, you know, when you like you're not necessarily prepared to hear a particular song, but like you know that song really well, and then you hear it in a different context to how you normally hear it, and your spidey sense goes up. And I was like, oh my God, hang on a minute, what is this? And so, but then like it's the kind of club where like, yes, there's a drag performer and they might be like actually world class, but like also everyone is like
having their own experience,
doing shots, like gossiping with friends, dancing in their own little like ecosphere. And I was like, oh my God, like 3,000 people, you need to shut the fuck up because something's about to happen. Because I could just hear the opening bars of this music and I could see this figure appearing on the stage, very, very tall, skinny figure. And the music was starting and it's quite like leading in and intense, like foreboding. Remember, it's like a horror Halloween kind of drag night. Anyway, and it was Paracetamol was performing the song Fallen Alien by FKA Twigs, and Paracetamol had these like enormous wings made out of plastic sheets.
Wow.
You know when you see like at the side of a road, like a side of a motorway, there's like a lorry that's like got like this like plastic sheet that's been put over the lorry to like protect the sand, but then it's all blowing off
like
all over
tarpaulin.
the place. So like tarpaulin, but like really, really big plastic sheet. Anyway, Paracetamol, someone had made like these giant wings for Paracetamol to have. And also I have to say there was a lot of blood because Paracetamol was like covered in blood, like Carrie at the end of the film Carrie.
Yeah.
And so she's singing I'm a Fallen Alien, which is this song by FKA Twigs. And I know that song really well. And then it actually just halfway through the performance, like completely twists into this like insane like drum, I don't even know my music genres, drum step, techno, insanity, new level of that song. And she was performing with these wings and it was crazy. And I had my own little private moment.
Wow.
And I was like, this is just amazing because I was like, this is FKA Twigs but on acid, and it made me love FKA Twigs even more. And
you want it.
It's so good. I want it. So I just wanted to kind of like drop you into that moment.
Amazing. Thank you.
Because we're going to talk about FKA Twigs and why she matters.
What a moment, Adam. This is brilliant. I also really enjoyed how you kind of performed the thing as you were telling me that.
I was doing the arms.
With your arms and everything. Okay, I know that you love FKA Twigs. I have seen FKA Twigs. I got to see her at the Roundhouse when she did the pole dance.
Okay.
performance, and she is mesmeric. There is no. She is alien as well.
Yes.
She is not an alien. She is alien.
She is, exactly. So shall I tell you a bit about
do.
So, I mean, this is not like one of those going to be like, I'm not the kind of fan who's like, oh my God, I'm going to get all the facts right. I'm going to tell you the whole story.
So you're going to get all the facts wrong?
No, I'm not going to
tell
wrong.
me any of
I'm
the
just
story.
going to say like the things that I like know about her from her bio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if it's going to be in the right order. But it's just that, let's just talk about her. So,
as long as you're wearing the tarpaulin wings,
yeah,
then
exactly.
I'm here for it.
I think it's important to say that she is. So she's from quite a rural place in Gloucestershire. That a lot of people can't even say Gloucestershire, but, or Gloucestershire.
Yeah, it's more my accent.
Yeah,
well,
it's more your accent.
My ends, yeah.
And anyway, so she's from this small place, and she's got mixed parentage, and what the effect of that was that she was like in her school. She was like, I think she said. That she was like the only like non-white kid at school, and she was like bullied for that and seen as weird and different because of that. And like she's not even that old. Like that was not that long ago that was happening. And so, but her mother always told her like that she was beautiful, and she said that FKA Twigs said that she, so her real name is Talia, and she used to say that her mum used to tell her that she was beautiful, and like in that moment at home when her mum was telling her that, she believed that, and she was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm like beautiful, I'm so powerful. Her mum looks quite similar as well, and Twigs was quite like obsessed with her mum's beauty as well, and so I think that probably she could see that in her, and she was like, yeah, we're beautiful women. She was being raised mostly by her mum in this period, the minute that she then got into school and had to like face the world, this sort of real world, as it were, that confidence and that power that she felt from her mum like collapsed, and so that must have been a very difficult
really sad
childhood and adolescence for her to go through, of being like, made to feel like a weirdo.
Yeah.
It might also be to do with her body, which is very, very slender and slim and lean, and her face, which is quite, and her head, which is really quite. I mean, it's just like beautiful, but like quite an unusual facial shape and head. And I think that her like visual art really brings that out a lot as well. They play with that a lot.
Totally. Like she really is an artist who uses her body from vocals to physical in all of its form and stretches.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know why she's called Twigs?
No, I was going to ask actually.
Well, it's because she is a dancer, as you know, because you saw her dancing, and
she came up through dance.
Yeah, she came up through dance, and so when she was dancing when she was really little, they used to say that they could hear her like joints cracking as she was like learning dance, and because she is so like slim and slender, that they would say that she was like a tree and branches that would like snap.
Wow.
So Twigs became her nickname, and then actually when she was starting out as a musical artist and an artist with her own name and everything, she was just called Twigs.
Yeah.
But then, do you know how that changed?
No, but I remember when she was called Twigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
my God, so you're
don't
like
know.
OG.
Yeah,
era.
I don't know how she became FKA Twigs.
Well, it's because there's another musical act that's called Twigs.
Okay.
Who are these two other people that are, sorry, awkward.
Yeah, like...
No, not as famous as FKA Twigs. So they were like, you're using our name, actually.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do FKA and like, watch me jump.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a bit of a flex.
Yeah.
So she put FKA at the beginning, and a lot of people thought that meant formerly known as Twigs. But
I thought it was like a bit of a Prince nod.
Yeah. But she said actually it was just three letters that I really liked that worked together.
Okay.
That like I think it was going to be something like FK2 Twigs or something like that. No. Naomi Campbell was introducing her one time at a show.
I mean, the fact that even happened is amazing.
Naomi Campbell was introducing her, and she like said her name wrong. She said like FK2 Twigs or something like that, and then Twigs had to like come on and perform. And Twigs had said that like she wouldn't let anyone else get away with that, but it was Naomi. So like, also, what are you gonna do? Like, completely unaccountable.
Come on and be like, that's not my name.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Nay, that's not my name. Anyway, so she was a bit of like yeah, like, and she had the, going back to the childhood, and I think that her and her mum like were just perceived quite differently. I think there's this quote that like her mum was perceived as like the witch of the playground, of just being like, but being this like two things at once, like one, other people looking down on you as like a freak, but also you being and knowing that you are somehow different, and also in this case like really quite special and quite magical.
Yeah, I mean that's an amazing way to like to move through that, but in my mind it comes through a lot of like othering and exorcism and lots of like horrific experiences of racism.
Exactly. And as we continue to talk through these next 5 or 6 hours or so, Tash, that is a theme that will come up time and time again. Exoticization, othering, but also like finding power in that and playing with that.
Right, and the reclamation. And I think that's something that we talk a lot about, which is when you're othered in a certain way, there is a power in the reclamation of that othering and saying, well, I'm going to take what you're doing to me and I'm going to throw it back at you.
And I think that's why Twigs has a lot of fans, like little gay boys like me, who like see that that's what she's doing and that's relatable, you know, relatable content. And that's why, you know, she's literally got a song called Fallen Alien, and it was transformed by Pony into this amazing drum step version and then performed by Paracetamol in this like crazy horror drag like angel wings made of plastic thing that I saw. I just remembered that I like Instagram messaged Paracetamol that night saying like I literally like found them on Instagram being like, oh my god, that was amazing. It's like a real fangirl moment. Okay. And I guess the other thing to say about the thing about like the othering thing and like being a witch or whatever is that like when I was a lot younger, I was quite cautious of being seen as being a fan of like female musical artists.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, massively. Like I remember like in 2001 my friends wanted to go see Destiny's Child on the Survivor tour at Sheffield Arena.
What an amazing experience.
I know. And I was like, oh, it's not really for me, but like I'll come with you and support, you know, like.
So you felt like just to check in, you felt like it wasn't, you were taking up space for someone else?
No, it's
okay.
like, and then I was gay, obviously. Like no, like as a guy, I don't know, I'm supposed to like, I don't know, like Oasis or something.
I see. Okay.
So yeah, it was more like if I go to see Destiny's Child at Sheffield Arena, you know, these 3 powerful women literally singing a song called like I'm a Survivor, and Independent Woman, if I go and chant in Sheffield Arena, in, you know, all the ladies, that's going to mean I'm gay. And it did mean that I'm gay. And I did go and did have a good time.
And you are a survivor,
But
honey.
the narrative, thank you, but the narrative was that, I'm going to support my friends.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Because they can't get to Sheffield on the train by themselves from Cleethorpes unless I'm there with the tickets, right?
Yes, the bro in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. There was one female artist around that time when I was a teenager that I was still ashamed to admit to lots of people, but I kind of couldn't hide it because I loved her so much, and it was Sheryl Crow.
Oh.
And I got my dad to take me down to London to see like this really funny special little one-off gig that she did.
I thought you were going to say Bette Midler or something.
Oh, but no, yeah, exactly, like another gay icon. No, Sheryl Crow has bizarrely not been claimed by the gays.
No, she's great though.
Maybe let's
because she's got a guitar.
Do an episode on that. She's got a guitar, yeah. Anyway, so maybe
Sheryl Crow, gay icon? Question mark.
Question mark. If you want to hear that, listeners, you can get in touch and tell us that you want to hear that.
Yeah.
I will do an episode on Sheryl Crow.
I'm here for it.
You don't even have to subscribe to the Patreon for that. We'll do a free episode. But if you do subscribe to the Patreon, that just makes it like a little bit more likely that we'll do it.
Like if you are a Patreon subscriber, you will be hearing the full 5 to 6 hour chat of FKA Twigs that we will cut down. Adam will cut down.
That's actually a joke. I'm worried that people are going to want that. Should we talk about the work and the albums?
Tell me.
So she is genuinely unusual. And so, I think it's that if you look consistently through her work, and this is another thing that we might come back to, that she's driven by what she wants to make, not what she thinks will sell.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of these like fortunate artists that like
it crosses over.
That crosses over. Like I think she says that, and I do think she genuinely believes that.
Yeah, that's good.
But lucky for you, girl, like you do actually make something that like 1 million people want to watch. So like, whoops. Anyway, but that's good.
Here's me creating great art again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I sold out.
But she's not. I mean,
I didn't mean that. I meant selling her gigs.
I wasn't about to like.
I don't think she's sold out
on that. No, but she is like, yes, like Nike. I will take like millions of pounds to do an advertising campaign for you, and like, why not? You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure she's got lots of value. She does have lots of values and ethics, and I don't know whether she looks at companies that she does like brand deals with, and like only picks ones that like conform to, you know, what her values are, and I don't know very much about that.
More on that in hour 5. Back to the music.
Sorry, back to music. Yeah. So she did these like couple of EPs. This is where I get like facts are a little bit loose, but like around 2012, you know, she was a backing dancer in like music videos with like Jessie J and other kind of pop music artists at the time like that. And but then she was starting to work on her own music. She did a photo shoot she was on the cover of ID magazine, and that is like a very famous photo shoot. That her music was just kind of starting to come out then. She did this like first EP1 and then EP2.
Yes, this is when I met her.
Right, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's like
2012,
2013 or something.
Yeah.
And then she did this photo shoot, and like a lot of people didn't know visually like who she was that much, because those first EPs, they didn't have the visuals of her. And then that ID photo shoot came out where it's just her face on the cover, and her hair on her forehead is like curled into the word love, you know, like with hairspray. And she's got her septum piercing, she's got her amazing lips, she's got her like beautiful, gorgeous, huge eyes and cheeks. And it's funny because a lot of people at the time when that ID cover shoot came out said, oh, okay, she's an R&B artist. And it was because she wasn't white, and they hadn't known that until that point, really, that like that became like a public conversation,
that's really
how she was categorized.
And then that redefines the genre of music after it's already been heard for the first time.
Exactly. And it's like not even R&B. Like,
no,
I mean,
it's not.
God knows what music genres are these days. I'm like post-genre. I don't understand.
They are just like hyphenated.
It's all multi-hyphenate.
So many.
And R&B's in there, of course, like what isn't. But anyway, so she did those early ones, and then there was LP1, which and around this time she was starting to collaborate with Matthew Stone. Let me make sure I get everyone's names right. With Matthew Stone and Matthew Josephs. So Josephs is the like stylistic and creative director, and Matthew Stones does a lot of the visual, actually the visuals and like the artwork. And they had worked with her like from those early days and been involved in that ID
Matthew Stone's
thing.
an artist, right?
An artist.
Who I worked with before when I was at Switchboard, and they helped to recreate the logbooks. And so Matthew made this amazing piece of art, which is very similar to the style of some of that early FKA twig stuff.
Is it with the like 3D painting
that
he does?
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
Got you, okay. Yeah, so he does this like 3D painting, like broad strokes of paint, and then like digitally captures them and then applies them onto other 3D objects like Twigs' face or the Switchboard logbooks. Wow, I didn't know that. So name drop, who co-produced LP1?
Oh, I actually don't know the answer to this.
If you could easily guess it, because it makes so much sense. Arca is the producer of LP1
I didn't know that.
With Twigs. Yeah, exactly.
That does make so much sense.
It makes so much sense, right? Just like very, very like strange mixtures of electronic noises, like washing machine noises, and
a bit Spherixy, actually.
Yeah, a bit Spherixy, exactly, and all that. So. So then, and I think that like LP1 was really big. It was like picked as like an album of the year. I don't know if that was the one that was Mercury shortlisted, or was that Magdalene, the next one. But it was a moment, and most famously from that was the song 2 Weeks.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the most sexiest songs ever.
Also, like, I'm having so many flashbacks, Adam. Number 2, one, I'm going to go back and listen to all of the music, so thank you so much for bringing this here today, but also of us working together and us needing a break and you going, hold on, and then just pressing play on this song.
Oh.
And like being all like dreamy about it.
Was it Twigs?
Yeah, it was. And you were like, I need a moment. I need a moment. And we just like you just like listen to this song, and it's so actually whenever I hear FKA Twigs, I think about you.
Okay.
And also like
she would love that actually.
Yeah. But you have brought FKA Twigs into a lot of our work environments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
never as formally as this.
I also bring it into the sex environment because
Yes.
2 Weeks is a really good song to be sexy with someone. And actually the whole album, LP1, is a really good song.
It's really hot.
Really good album to like have on in the background. And I think that 2 Weeks... She was in the video, if you remember the video, she's like this like goddess. She's like portrayed as this goddess, and the camera is like on her face at the beginning, and then it's like very, very slowly moving out further and further wide. So then you gradually see her torso and then her whole body and her arms, and then there's all these like other figures that are very similar to her dancing around, and she's kind of this like multi-planetary but Egyptian inspired like goddess, you know, with like a headdress and everything. And that is one of the things I think that I don't want to say like established her like visual identity, because there's a lot more to it than that. But I think that in terms of showing this is a person in like complete control and power of her artistic output and her representation, her like self manifestation. And I know that like artists always, like musical artists always try to do that, but I think her in collaboration with the two Matthews, Johnson and Stone, in like coming up with the visual artwork for the cover artwork for LP1, which is Stone again, where she's kind of, it's like her face, but it's like painted and weird.
Yeah.
And like, and then they did that again on Magdalene, where they did like even a bigger concept, and he like painted her and she's kind of orange, and then there's like weird colours in her eyes.
Yeah.
So she's always playing around with the imagery of like, she's like very, very, very weirdly conventionally beautiful and also extremely unconventionally beautiful at the same time. And I think she's kind of capitalized on that, literally and metaphorically, in the visuals. And well, we need to talk about cellophane. Sorry.
It's just while you're talking about all of these things, it's making me think about what she does, which is different, and why she is a, quote unquote artist, because there is no sort of end to the creation process. If you go from the music to the performance to the visual to her style to like how she speaks, what she talks like in interviews, there is this really cohesive piece of art that's happening where this is a wider question. I do not know where that art ends, and whether the art actually ends or not is the question.
I mean, I think that that is a good question, and I don't know because I don't know her. But I mean, for sure, like work ends at some point, and there is a night where you're just like in your hoodie at home, you're looking like trash, you're eating fried chicken out of a box, and like
I did hear her being interviewed by Nick,
she's probably vegan. But...
It was like Nick Grimshaw, and so he does a breakfast show on like Six Music, and it was her being interviewed on that, and she was like, I am not a morning person.
Yeah, right, okay.
And so it was like, okay, I'm getting a bit of an insight into her,
But I do think that there's something in what you're saying, which is, with her, very, very true, is that I think that she lives in, I'm sure she lives an integrated life, in the sense that she's a purely, fully creative person.
Yeah.
And she's working with people, she chooses people, she's really, she writes a lot of songs, and then produces some of them, and then of those, some of them make it out, like she's it's fully integrated, and also the visual and the music is also fully connected, and you see that in her distinct eras. So there's been a lot of chat in the past year and a half since Eusexua came out of like, it's a whole new visual style and a whole new musical style for her, but it's also clearly integrated to all the rest as well. Like, it's a development of...
Yes, totally. And it's making me think, as Eusexua, of course, is like a new word as well, and out of that came like this whole idea, which was what that campaign was really centred around, which was really clever. But what you're saying just then makes me think about art and artists and people who work in this way, which is like what you said about she's constantly writing music. Now, whether that music gets released or not isn't the point. It's that she's constantly evolving and creating and changing, and that every piece of work that you do towards that is valid, whether it receives success or not, right? It all informs.
And I think... for me, one of the other things that I love about her and respect about her as an artist is that she's kind of like, she's multi-hyphenate, and she's a music, like, you kind of can't really say anything about her other than that she's an artist. You could say that she's a musician or a singer, but she's also a dancer, and she also is a visual artist. And I love that. I mean, get me a stylist, and I will also be a visual artist. Do you know what I mean? I look like I'm wearing pajamas today, but
I like it. Adam's got like little shorts on.
But I think that she is just one of those people who's like wants to play around in all sorts of different forms. She also acts, and in her music video she's often acting and playing a character, and she's got a really, really wicked sense of humour. There's a really good music video for
you love her so much.
I do love her so much. But there's a music video for what's the song from Eusexua where Northwest is rapping on it in a really funny way. Childlike Things is the name of the song. And there's this music video where she's taking the piss out of the music industry, taking the piss out of her, and she's like playing for them. And she's acting. It's also really funny. She's comedic. But I want to go back to the integrated live thing and the way that the art comes from the person, because her work, her songs are also very much directly about her experiences. And so the song Cellophane is famously about her very terrible experience in dating Robert Pattinson. And the way that so Robert Pattinson is the actor. Do you know about this relationship?
I mean, I know that they were together. Yeah, definitely.
And do you know about what happened and how the Twilight fans turned?
No.
Well, don't mess with the Twilight fans.
Wow.
Honestly. I'm kind of nervous to say something bad against them on the logbooks because they're going to take us down.
I wonder if we have overlapping fans.
I don't think. Well, I don't know, maybe. But,
my sister.
And I told you this episode was going to be 5 hours long. No, so Robert Pattinson was, one of the actors in Twilight, along with Kirsten Stewart. Mm-hmm. Is it Kirsten or Kristen?
I never know.
Kirsten, K-Stew. And they dated briefly. And also because they were like the romantic people in the movie.
Yeah.
All the Twilight people loved them being together and shipping them, wanting them to be together.
Yeah.
Anyway, then surprise, surprise, actors are actually different people from their characters.
Oh my god.
Because movies are made up. And not a lot of people know this. It's okay if you didn't know that. Not a lot of people know that. So movies are made up, and they get people to play different people in those movies.
You're good. I cannot believe this is turning into you describing a movie concept to me now.
And Robert Pattinson was playing a character in that movie which fancied K-Stew and the character called Bella. In his real life, Robert Pattinson, the actor, was dating FKA Twigs. And the fans did not like that, the Twilight fans, and they were insanely, horribly racist towards Twigs. They first of all was they wanted him to be with K-Stew, and one of the ways that they attacked Twigs was, first of all, you're stealing her man, and second of all, you're not white, and so they were just really racist.
God.
So again, flashback to Twigs's experience at school, where she was made to feel like a freak and not welcome.
So horrible.
So then she wrote a fucking banger, which is what you have to do. She wrote Cellophane, and she said about that song, it's not an attack on Robert, it's an attack on the experience of it, of what happened, but she said about that song that she's very proud of it, and it's maybe her favourite song or one of her best songs, because she knows that it connects with people because she's expressing a real feeling, and the feeling in the feeling that she had is there in the way that she's written the lyrics, and is there in the way that the music is made, and so you can kind of get the same feeling that she has by listening to that song. So that was Cellophane, and that's the one where she was really pole dancing in the video, and she really, really took to pole, and there was a whole era where she did that, and she still does quite a lot.
Okay, where are we going next, Adam?
Where are we going next? I know we haven't got that much longer to talk about, but we have to talk about the second full album, Magdalene.
Yeah.
Because it's an amazing album with Cellophane on it, that one. But the whole album is centered on this concept of Magdalene. Now, I think you can tell me who Mary Magdalene was.
Oh, she's the sexy lady in the Bible.
Keep going.
Okay, so Mary Magdalene was a sex worker or a prostitute is how we would probably describe her today. And she was kind of the talk of the town. She was the ostracized one, except for Jesus turned to her and saw her for who she really was.
And what has been the sort of biggest cultural and social story over 2,000 years about Mary Magdalene versus Jesus versus Mary, the other Mary in the Bible?
Well, I was thinking about the Mary Magdalene sisters. But that's not what you're going to.
No, I was talking about the fact that, like, there's Jesus' mother is called Mary.
Yeah.
And she's a virgin. Famously.
Is she?
Well, almost certainly not, but that's my belief.
No. Yeah.
She's a virgin.
Yeah.
Mary Magdalene, as you said, is a sex worker. Like, the literal opposite of a virgin.
Yeah.
And which of these has been like the saint and the leader of the church? Which is the one that's been like pilloried and dismissed over 2,000 years?
Mother Mary,
exactly.
of course, is the saint.
Mary's the saint, the besainted one.
Yes.
And Magdalene is like the whore, and she was like trying to bring him down and stuff. And so this is just like a classic kind of piece of like Western feminism has been this analysis over the decades of like the virgin whore dichotomy, and it's kind of there in the two Marys. And
something that lots of people struggle with in sex and relationships.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's a classic dichotomy.
I want the sex, but that makes me a whore, and I'm going to be perceived badly.
It makes them the whore.
Yeah.
So like a classic trope is that you fall for the woman who is Mother Mary, and that's who you choose to marry, but you then struggle to have a sexual relationship with her because she becomes Mary Magdalene the whore.
That's
and you
right,
can't hold
because
those
you
two.
are actually having sex. Yeah, exactly. And you can't hold those two, So let's go to therapy. Exactly. So Magdalene. So I think the figure of Mary Magdalene, like, obviously captured Twigs, especially when she was in this era of the intense media scrutiny from just being a woman and being a woman of color in the world, and then being in that relationship. She was also in this horrendous relationship with Shia LaBeouf, who strangled her and abused her emotionally, and she has, they've been going through this long-running legal dispute over that, and he has admitted that he did certain things and rejected that he's done certain other things. They've now settled that, but the fact is that it was an abusive relationship, and she called like a helpline when she was in the US with him, and she called a helpline for like abused women, and the person on the phone said, "It sounds like you're in an abusive relationship." This person didn't know that this was FKA fucking Twigs calling, and that she was calling about that relationship. Sounds like you're in an abusive relationship, and you need to like get help like immediately, and that told Twigs about what it really was. Anyway, and so Magdalene as a kind of art, as a piece of art, comes out of that, of like being mistreated by men and by society, and also kind of reclaiming that power. And so that's why Cellophane is on there, Fallen Alien is on there, Mirrored Heart is on there. These are just like such like gorgeous, emotionally complex songs and amazing pieces of music. And that's also the album where she's got this like weird visual imagery of like, she looks kind of, I don't want to say that she's been battered and bruised, but she looks kind of like both beautiful and alluring, but also at the same time, like, let's say like clearly like molded by some like crazy potter, because they're like...
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. She's like distorted somehow.
She's distorted, yeah exactly. And this distortion, I think, is like quite a big theme. And so we're coming to the end of this like long discussion about
I'm
Twigs.
really enjoying it.
But I guess fast forward to last year when she came out with Eusexua. I'm not going to talk about Capri Songs too much, the mixtape. Not because I don't think it's good, but just because I know less about it. And it's a mixtape, so it kind of has a different sort of quality to it. And then the most recent album was Eusexua, and then Afterglow, which was like a remixy kind of B-sidey album of that. And here she's like an alien in the club. Like she's in these underground raves. And I was like, hang on a minute, Twigs is making like a rave album?
Yeah, it's so good. Also, there's that song on it which is like just hooking up with someone for the night in the club.
Stranger.
Oh my God, what an amazing song.
Yeah, and it's funny because like Madonna's new song is like, I feel so free. And she's like, sometimes I just want to be anonymous. And like, I go to the club and like, they're like, nobody knows me. And like, I find it hard to trust people. So I just go into the crowd and then I'm just a dancer in the club. And it's like, you know that Madonna's probably not actually doing that. Whereas Twigs has made another song which is actually quite Madonna inspired. Like it's a lot of like quite late 90s Madonna vibe to it. And she's done a song like called that Perfect Stranger, where she's like talking about the same thing basically. And I'm like, I actually think that Twigs did go to like raves in Prague and like had that experience. I don't know how you disguise yourself if you're Twigs, because you're like so gorgeous.
Well, she's also quite small.
She can be small.
So that does help, I think. Put a hat on and some sunglasses is what they do.
And you're in a club.
No one knows who I am.
So I think maybe we could say what Twigs. Well, I can say what Twigs means to me,
Adam,
but if you want to say it as well.
I think Twigs is an entry point into your alien appreciation of yourself and your freakish nature. And I think that is something that maybe you knew about yourself really early on, but wouldn't allow it to be freed. Since then, you have cracked open that shell. And I think Twigs is helping you to see the way to do that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I would say that. And I think she's got like total artistic commitment. She's got like queer feminist politics at the heart without necessarily saying, this is queer feminist politics. And I love that, because I love it when you layer those things and you make work that is clearly infused by your values and by, in my case, what I think is right, queer feminist politics.
Showing, not telling.
Yeah, exactly. And she's showing, not telling. She gives us permission to be multiple things at once, to be weird, to be ugly and beautiful at the same time, and know that that's a false binary anyway. I mean, it does help if you are as beautiful as she is. But yeah, like, I think that is probably where it lands. And so this is an FKA Twigs appreciation episode.
From one alien to another.
There you go. Yeah.
Great, that's great. Okay, just do the last bit. Well, I just cannot wait to submerge myself in FKA Twigs' music. Thank you so much for bringing it to me today. And I'm
going to send you the pony flip of Fallen Alien, which is only on SoundCloud.
Oh, please.
And I'll put it in the episode notes as well, because it's so good.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Adam.